Are we in World War III right now? I mean, there hasn't been any official declaration, so no one is really sure whether we are or not. But what's certain is that the first wave of the war has already hit hard, and that's the energy shock, a major energy crisis that's very likely to happen if the fighting keeps dragging on like this. And if it does happen, it'll cause inflation to spike sharply, because energy prices will shoot up dramatically. That means hardship and scarcity are on their way to people all around the world. No one will be spared. In this video, we'll look at the possible trends and what the global energy crisis might look like. What causes the stock markets in different countries to fall, and why do some drop more than others? Where does the United States get the money to fund its wars? And as for the ongoing war, what level has it reached now? And are there any predictions about what the economic numbers will look like? And what will life be like for people living in a state of war? You can support the information in this video, the war crisis energy shock, by scanning this QR code. In this situation, the hardship is shared by everyone. No one is left out. Another easy way to support the Money Monster channel is to like, share, or comment and join the conversation. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button for me. And for those who already have, no need to do it again. Just once is enough. Thank you so very much. Right now, absolutely no one dares to pass through the Strait of Hormuz because Iran has made it perfectly clear. Anyone who tries to go through the Strait of Hormuz simply won't make it out alive. So now, the transportation of 25% of the world's energy, which used to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, about 80 million barrels per day, is completely wrecked because now it's down to zero. And when such a massive amount of oil disappears from the market, the only result that will happen is that oil prices will skyrocket. Right now, you could say that any country that relies heavily on importing oil or energy is really taking a hit. Let's go through and see which countries depend the most on energy imports. Japan, for example, imports about 90% of its energy needs. On the day the Strait of Hormuz was closed, the Nikkei, Japan's stock market, dropped by 3 to 5%. That means about 8 to 10 trillion baht in value just disappeared. South Korea needs energy imports for 90% of its supply. The stock market plunged 12.06% on March 4th, the worst since 2008. But what happened then? The US subprime crisis, which was severe, but today is even worse. India imports 85% of its oil, and both the Nifty and Sensex dropped sharply. Market value vanished by 21 trillion rupees. That's roughly 88 trillion baht. Thailand imports 60% of its energy needs. The SET index fell about 1.5%. Market value lost was between 250 to 300 billion US dollars. But the country that imports the most energy in the world isn't Japan, it's actually China. While China does import the most energy globally, it also produces the most energy in the world. The Chinese stock market also dropped. The CSI 300 fell by about 1.14%. Not a huge amount, but the point is that China has already tightened its belt. And China's belt tightening is like rubbing salt in the wound, making the global energy crisis even more likely to happen. That's because the Chinese government has ordered major energy companies to stop exporting gasoline and diesel altogether. The trend of energy shortages in the world seems likely to get even worse as long as Iran's attacks haven't ended. Most recently, for example, Saudi Arabia's company, Saudi Aramco, had to shut down the Ras Tanura refinery, which is the largest oil refinery in Saudi Arabia. This refinery has a production capacity of 550,000 barrels per day because it was attacked by Iranian drones. As for Qatar, the Ras Laffan LNG plant, which is the largest LNG production facility, also had to halt both production and transportation because they can't ship through the Strait of Hormuz. As for Israel, the Leviathan gas field and the Tamar gas field, the country's two main gas sources, were both attacked by Iranian drones and have had to shut down. As for Iraq, they just shut down the Rumaila oil field, which is the second largest producer, yielding 1.5 million barrels per day. I should explain that the risk of war isn't just about intensity, but another important risk is how long it lasts. Honestly, if people go without food for just a short while, no one dies. But if you go without food for too long, everyone will die. Now, let's take a look at what happens if the war drags on. Iran still hasn't reopened the Strait of Hormuz. So how much longer can countries survive with the oil they have left? I got some of this information from the International Energy Agency, which shows the oil reserves each country has. So let's take a look at how much oil reserves each country actually has. We'll divide that by the amount of energy each country needs to use. For Thailand, we would be able to survive on our oil reserves for another 61 days. But according to the latest information from March 6th, our Minister of Energy said that Thailand can find additional energy sources. And that would increase Thailand's oil reserves from 61 days to 95 days. However, the source of these new energy supplies hasn't been clearly specified. Vietnam has energy reserves for 30 to 45 days. Singapore lasts 20 to 50 days. China holds 90 days. South Korea has 208. As for Japan, lacking natural resources, they have to be cautious. Japan has energy reserves for as long as 247 days. You could say that many countries have energy reserves that could last for several months or almost a year. But the fact is, even though every country has reserves, they're still limited. So if the war drags on for a long time and the oil really does run out, well, there isn't a single country or even a single industry that would be able to escape unscathed. So the question is, what will the economic outlook be like in this war? There were already predictions back in 2023 called the graph Doomsday. At that time, people were already forecasting that no matter what, Iran and Israel would definitely end up clashing. They even divided it into levels 1, 2, and 3. And now we're not even talking about levels 1 or 2 anymore. We are now at the most severe level in the prediction, which is level 3. So what is level 3? It's a direct attack between Israel and Iran, and it has already happened. So what are the economic forecasts? A doomsday scenario once predicted that if Iran and Israel clashed directly, oil would hit $64 a barrel, but it's already climbed much higher than that, and the global GDP could drop by as much as a full 1%. Meanwhile, inflation could rise by up to 1.2%. So why is it much more severe than predicted today? Because as you can see, the price of oil isn't $64 per barrel. It already went up to touch $80 per barrel before it came back down to around this level. It's been over 70, which has everyone worried about whether it will shoot past $100 per barrel. The reason it's gotten this intense is because the United States has openly joined the fight and is also launching attacks. And don't forget, Americans chose Donald. Why did they choose Trump? Because Donald Trump once said he would fight for economic development and wars, blah, 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 all over the world, and that he wouldn't start any wars, especially in the Middle East. But he went all in. So the market cheered, of course. Everyone expected this from Donald, so people were like, let's pick Donald Trump. What is the most intense conflict as far as war goes? A trade war. But that wasn't it at all. It went way beyond that. Were Americans deceived? The promise that Donald Trump made during his 2025 campaign, saying he would end the never-ending wars. Did someone switch up his lines or something? Because in the end, he ended up creating wars that never ended. So from a campaign to end endless wars, huh? Recently, Donald Trump posted on social media that we have an almost unlimited supply of weapons, basically saying we could wipe them out and always have the upper hand. How nice. Who knows? Maybe what Donald Trump posted is actually true, because he can still use military force to control the world's oil supply. Every country knows the US military power is impressive, maybe more than we think. It's likely way ahead of China, since China is just a trading country. They focus on trade, and when it comes to weapons, their technology's good. Maybe it's still not as good as America, or Russia claims to have the most powerful nuclear weapons in the world, but Russia's nukes have been around since the Soviet Union days. Can they even still launch them? No one can really confirm that, right? But in America, there are tons of top-notch military and weapons companies. But anyway, that thing Donald Trump posted on social media, it made the already falling market want to crash even harder. Because war is extremely expensive every single day. The Pentagon actually estimated that the budget Trump spent on this war reached as high as $200 billion US. Oh my God, that's expensive. So where did the United States get the money? Since the government budget is already running a 6% deficit right now, they could just print more money, perhaps even in advance. Because the US dollar has been dropping all year, right? Or what else could they do? Borrow? Yeah, they borrow through US government bonds. Anyone holding US government bonds, yep, that's you. You might be supporting the war without even realizing it. But what does that mean? It means that if the United States relies on funding the war by issuing more bonds or borrowing more money, if the war doesn't stop, that means Scott doesn't. The US Secretary of the Treasury will be under even more pressure to issue more bonds, to borrow even more. And the more bonds they issue, the more interest they'll have to pay. They'll have to pay a higher yield. And this could even cause the US government bond market, which is incredibly strong, to collapse. And if the US government bond market collapses, wouldn't the US market collapse too? Of course it would. As for Iran, you can ask the same question. Hey, where would Iran get the money to fight against America? What resources does Iran have to compete with America? They don't. Iran's resources, including money, in the long run, can they compete with America? No one knows. It depends on whether anyone will come to help them fight. But one thing's for sure, right now, Iran is not backing down at all. Even though they're in a desperate situation, Iran is still warning the world that the oil transport routes and passage through the Strait of Hormuz could be shut down continuously. And it might stay closed until global oil prices skyrocket to something like $200 per barrel. Like, wow, that could really happen. Really? Could it actually go that high? Honestly, is there anything that's impossible anymore these days? Everything depends on just how much this war escalates, like, for example, what China and Russia will do. For various reasons, will they step in to help Iran? Or maybe China itself isn't confident about going head-to-head with the United States, given America's military power, which even China isn't sure it can match. Or will Russia get involved? Or maybe Russia is already too badly hurt from Ukraine and can't help anyone anymore. Or will someone decide that, well, if there's no money left, just launch the nuclear weapons? Something like that? Or expanding on that, there's also the question of whether NATO or the European Union will turn their guns on Iran as well. Right now, Iran itself doesn't dare to invade Turkey because Turkey is part of NATO. And if Iran were to invade Turkey, Article 5 might be invoked, which states that an attack on one country is considered an attack on all of NATO, which would force all of NATO to turn their guns on Iran. That's why Iran's still hold off on Turkey for now. Or it also depends on what Iran chooses as its next target. For example, like when they attacked Amazon's data centers in the UAE and Bahrain, that could have consequences that might cause the already bubbling AI sector to burst. Who knows how far it could go, how big the impact could be. Or if Iran chooses to target the world's energy supply directly, to the point where energy prices actually shoot up to $100 or $200 per barrel, at that moment, no one would be able to escape the fallout. Everything would collapse, everyone. This is what I meant when I said that World War III might be happening. Whether officially or not, we don't know yet. But one thing's for sure, the effects of the energy shock war, it's already begun.